In the UK are sharing intelligence again about the terror attack. Here for more on all of this tonight, Marc Thiessen, American Enterprise Institute scholar and a Fox News contributor, and Zach McCannis is a former senior DNC advisor and a Clinton campaign aide. Gentlemen, thank you for being here this evening. You know, there's so much that we're learning in this case. Reports today that he called his mother and said, "Forgive me," on the phone just shortly before he went in there and killed parents who were waiting for their children, killed children who were waiting for their parents. I mean, it is an absolutely horrific crime. We also know that there were several attempts by the Muslim community that he lived in to put up red flags on him. People contacted the Libyan Muslim community leader, contacted the National Counterterrorism Hotline and said, "We're concerned about him. He's expressing militant viewpoints." And then an imam at the Didsbury Mosque did the same thing. So we have a couple things to take on here. Marc, let me first ask you about this intelligence sharing and the photos that surfaced in the New York Times and CBS, which the Trump presidency, got some backlash for. Is that justified?
It's not President Trump's fault that it happened, but I understand why the British are upset. They have every right to be upset. I mean, if you think about it, in the last 2 weeks, we've had two major leaks that have burned two major allies, UK and Israel, as sources of intelligence on ISIS, and B, helped ISIS by giving them information about sources and methods of how we collect intelligence. The leak of the fact that Israel was behind the intelligence we had on an ISIS plot to blow up planes using bombs on computer hard drives, and now this information about not just the photos of the bomb, but the name of the bomber. I mean, these are intelligence trails that our intelligence community has to follow in order to find out if there's an entire network behind this. They may have other plots. They may have plots for the United States or against U.S. interests in the world. We need to keep those intelligence trails warm, and leaks are incredibly damaging to that.
I mean, the indication that we have is that the FBI and the New York Police Department, who has a base in London, were the people who had these photographs. It was not necessarily intelligence, but it was photographs that they didn't want to get out. And as you point out, it demonstrates some of the materials that were used in this, and they didn't want that to go out there. You know, how did that end up being, something that was designed, that sort of reflected poorly on the administration?
Well, look, I mean, I agree with Marc. I mean, this is the second time in a month in which this administration has leaked information from some of our key allies and has alienated both of them. First, Israel, when he leaked highly classified information to the Russians that actually put an Israeli spy who was undercover and infiltrated ISIS in danger. And now we have him having to go and apologize to the United Kingdom for leaking this information to the press. I mean, the level of incompetence from this administration
is highly unlikely. I understand you on the first count. On the second count, it's highly unlikely that somebody who is on Team Trump was going to give that information to the New York Times and CBS. Doesn't that seem a little odd to you?
On both of them. On both of them. It wasn't Team Trump.
Well, I think that the modeling that we are seeing from Donald Trump at the top. I mean, we have the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, willy-nilly handing out intelligence to adversaries, and so I think that when you model that kind of behavior for your administration, this is the kind of thing that happens, and it's absolutely absurd and frankly dangerous. I mean, it puts our national security at risk, and so this is very disappointing behavior from this administration.
Marc, last thought.
Yeah, Donald Trump has been warning for months about the danger of leaks coming out. It's not just these leaks. It's been leaks of his phone calls with world leaders. It's been all sorts of intelligence coming out. He's been warning and warning and warning, and people like Zach are saying, oh, it's just to distract from Russia. Well, now we see the real national security implications of this, and no one was taking it seriously. Maybe now that it's Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, who's saying exactly what Donald Trump is saying, which is these leaks are damaging, maybe we'll finally take it seriously.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Zach McCannis, Marc Thiessen, good to see you. So still